Hey guys, it's been a while since I've shared anything, but just really wanted to just kind of record something that God's been doing the last couple days that has just been so amazing. Just had over and over, just small little miracles that have just been like confirmation of things that God's been doing in my quiet time with Him, and even with my kids and my family. And I had several just little miracles, but you know, I think it's so cool because God knows our needs and our even our desires and our wants, and even when we're not expecting it, He turns around and does something amazing. And it's just so cool to see Him work that way. Um, but I mean, this is more on a natural end, but I think it's still so important to see that He cares for us. But on Sunday, we had a family, not a family reunion, we had it was a housewarming party and birthday party for my daughter, and they were calling for rain. So we didn't think we were going to be able to be outside, but I really felt like Ooh, I felt like we needed to do it anyway, so I still planned it, and I kind of was bummed because I thought, oh, wanted to do something for my daughter outside, and um, but we ended up coming home, and it when I was at work, it didn't rain, and when I got home, it looked like it had already rained, and they had called for rain all day. It did not rain until after the party was over. Completely dry. The sun even came out. And the kids were able to be outside. And then to top it, I had a friend that brought me a housewarming gift. And something I had said that I loved were crepe myrtles, which are like this bush that becomes like a tree. And my friend has one, and it shades, and I just loved it because it was beautiful, but it was like a shading tree. And I hadn't said anything to these people, and they came with a crepe myrtle for us. And I was just like, wow, how God knows the desires of our heart, and He can put it on other people's hearts to give that to them. And just, it's small, but it's so neat. And anyway, aside from that, just been in my times with God, having these encounters where God speaks something to me, or shows me something in heaven, and then confirms it with someone else that I don't even know. But I had this dream where God took me into this place, and one of the things He's been speaking to me is about loving others, and even in battles or in disagreements, instead of dealing with it with like a justice or trying to make things right, to deal with it with casting love or encircling them with love and being the love of God to these people or to the situation. And I had the Lord just take me into this place with Him in heaven, and He just poured, like He put His hand on my head, but when He put His hand on my head, it was like an oil came over me, and I felt like He commissioned me to love well, and that through this love, it was going to change things around me. And I even sensed it. I have a friend in Taiwan, and he has a similar call in his life, to just, you know, um, in this time, in this season, to be the love of God to people and to be a shining light. And I even saw him being commissioned in the same way. Um, but then I was listening to Justin Abraham's teaching on Love Wins, and um, the thing he talked about was he saw a dream, or he saw something where people were coming out of times in heaven and they were coming just completely drenched in oil. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is exactly what God showed me. Um, and it's, it's not something we may see in the natural, but God is willing to just drench us with his love, and it flows just like Aaron's beard when he was anointed with oil. It flowed from him and it dripped from him, and it affected all those around him, like the fragrance and the, the oil that flowed. Um, and so it's just kind of another confirmation. And one more. Today I had been so discouraged about something, and I went to heaven and was spending time with Jesus, and I was just like pouring my heart out of frustration because there's things he's doing in me that just had trouble. Sometimes I walk in doubt about it, and I had two people that I don't even know message me within a minute of me pouring this out, saying, hey, I want to talk more about this. And these people are walking in this, and it's just like he sends you around people that you need to be around at the right time to encourage you. And then I was spending time with him in heaven, and when I was, I really felt God wanted me to bring Jesus this gift. And in heaven, one of my encounters with Jesus, I went into this beautiful woods, which is right outside where um, I've created this place with him that I go. And these woods are big birch trees. And one of the first encounters I had with Jesus, he was actually up in the birch tree sitting. And the Holy Spirit took me back to this one birch tree that I found him in. And one of the branches, he said, go and stand on the branch. And I knew that branch wasn't going to hold me, even though it was in heaven. And it broke, but when I fell, like the Holy Spirit caught me. But this branch became like a rod. And I took it to the Father, and the Father had me inscribe on it my heart for Jesus. And it said, Shepherd of my heart. And we inscribed like just designs in it and that. And then he took me into the river, and as he took me into the river, he took my hand in the rod, and I literally felt him stick it inside of him. And what it did, it was like the glory of God was so powerful. It hit me, and like I couldn't move. And I felt like the Father like just lay me down, and he blew on me, and when he breathed life into me, it was like I was able to move again. But I looked at this rod, and it was completely encased with like golden glory. And it was even though it was wood shaped, like you could see the wood grain, it wasn't wood anymore. It was solid gold. My hand even looked gold from being in the Father. But as this happened, I looked, and in the river there was onyx and pearl and jewels, and the way we had inscribed it, I was able to stick these jewels in it. And a long story short, we ended up giving it to Jesus. And as I gave it to him, I saw tears of joy in his eye just at the gift. And I don't know, I just feel delight. And even Jesus, we can bring him pleasure in that way. And he desires our pleasure, and for us to bring pleasure to him just because we love him. But as I did this, I heard him say to me, you don't realize that you are a part of something that God, this creation. Um, and I heard him say about Aaron's rod. I never, other than the stories, I never read into more about end times and how Aaron's rod is a part of that. And I still don't understand it totally, but I didn't know there's like a whole deeper thing about this. But the one thing it talks about is that Aaron's rod was created in Eden. And that's exactly where I went with the Lord to create it, which I'm like, this is so cool. He has so much more, and it's just confirmation that when we spend time and we listen, He is speaking to us. So I hope it's encouraging. Just wanted to share. Bless you.